So this is verses 16 through 34. This is part 2 of the Bhagavad Gita, chapter 9. And last time we covered part 1, which talked directly about devotional service and how to attain Krishna by remembering him, seeing him in all ways, at all times, by um, becoming so surrendered unto him, becoming his devotee, right? We talked about Krishna's form, Krishna's quality, how he's a person, how the Mahatma is always engaged in chanting Krishna's holy names. We uh, Krishna talks about those who surrender unto him and those who are duratmas, then they don't surrender unto him as opposed to the Mahatmas. So all of these wonderful discussions were there, but the most salient message of Krishna was Manmana Bhavavad Bhakto Madhyaji Mam Namaskuru. Always think of me. If we look at chapter 12, then Krishna says the highest form of devotional service is to meditate upon him constantly, remember him constantly. If we study the nectar of devotion, then Rupa Goswami says there's only one rule and one regulation. All the rules and regulations, that is all the things to avoid, and all the things to do, that is like chanting, serving the devotees, everything. All of those rules and regulations, there's one rule and one regulation. They all serve this one rule and one regulation. Who remembers that? What's the one rule?
Always remember Krishna, never forget.
Yes. And then what's the one regulation?
Never forget him.
Never forget him. So the rule is to always remember Krishna. Here, Rupa Goswami is saying that, and here Krishna is saying. The first thing he's saying, Manmana, think of me always. So now in part 2, he tells us how do we think of him? How is it that we can always be thinking of Krishna? Because most of us, we don't have the liberty that we don't have to go to work. We can just sit in the temple and look at Krishna all day. And even if we did, our mind would drive us crazy and we wouldn't be able to do it because we're so materially conditioned. So, how to remember Krishna always? By seeing Krishna in all things of this world, seeing Krishna in nature and the world. So, this is not pantheism. This is not, again and again. Krishna did this in chapter 7. Then he does it here. Then the whole chapter 10 is dedicated to this. I mean, the one message that's so consistent is his descriptions of how he's present in this world. So someone may think that, oh, Gita is teaching pantheism. No, it's not teaching a pantheism. It's saying that Krishna is in this world. He's present in all things. And so this is not pantheism. This is seeing Krishna within every person and every tree and every plant. And these are ways in which essentially Krishna is teaching us how to do the highest form of bhakti, which is always think of Krishna. These are ways in which we can think of Krishna. So here we go. Achintya Bheda Bheda Tattva. There are different planets known as Chandraloka, Suryaloka, Indraloka, Maharloka, etc. But all such lokas or planets, being creations of Krishna, are simultaneously Krishna and not Krishna. Such planets, being manifestations of Krishna's energy, are also Krishna, but actually they serve only as a step forward for realization of Krishna. To approach the different energies of Krishna is to approach Krishna indirectly. So, all these different planets, everything, they're all creations of Krishna. So, Prabhupada here is saying that we have to be careful not to only see Krishna in nature. and to forget about Krishna, the person, because seeing Krishna in all things of this world, particularly the planets, which are described like the eyes of Krishna, right? The sun and the moon, is seeing Krishna, but it's seeing Krishna indirectly. But here in the Gita and other places also, it's telling us how always to see Krishna in everything. But that doesn't mean because we see him in everything, we don't also see him directly in the temple as the deity, in our hearts, in Krishna as Shama Sundar. And this principle of Achintya Bheda Bheda, very important. We must learn this. This is the key of Jiva Goswami's teachings from Chaitanya Mahaprabhu. And this is our ontological, philosophical core. If there's one statement that defined Gaudiya Vaishnavism, it is Achintya Bheda Bheda Tattva. Why? Because it says something ontologically about Krishna and his relationship with this world. Krishna is Bheda Bheda, one with and different from this world simultaneously. He is fully one with and different from this world. Krishna is 100% this world, like he says in Krishna, I am in all things, yet I am not in all things. Yet he is separate from this world. How can both things be true? That is achintya. It is inconceivable. The relationship of that oneness and difference is inconceivable. You may think, well, this is now just fiction. No. If you look at the relationship between the flower and the fragrance, what's the relationship between the two? Is the fragrance one with the flower? Yes, it is. Is it different than the flower? Yes, it is. It's simultaneously one with and different from the flower. What's the exact relationship? It's inconceivable, achintya. Now, in the case of the flower and the fragrance, it's somewhat conceivable because, it has the scent quality of the flower, but it doesn't have the form, right? In the case of Krishna, it's even more so. He's 100% this world, yet he's 100% not this world. And so that relationship is even more bewildering, and therefore it is even more achintya. So Krishna says in the Gita, I am the ritual. So when we do some rituals, we don't just do rituals. Why is he mentioning this? For the sake of rituals, we must remember that Krishna is this ritual. That's why rituals are not meaningless, because by doing the rituals, we are pleasing Krishna, because they are representing Krishna. Just like someone will say, well, what does it matter if I, circumambulate Tulsi Maharani 3 times in the morning, or I don't? I love her. I think of her. Why the ritual is important. If I am on the level of pure love for Krishna, why the ritual is important. Or someone may say, why do I have to abstain from onions and garlic? I mean, it's a plant, right? I mean, it's a plant. What's the problem with the plant? And maybe it's a point. It's not really bhakti to refrain from onions and garlic. No, it is, because the principle of not eating that is Krishna. It's a ritual. It might be a ritual, but that's Krishna. And if we're following that ritual for Krishna and seeing Krishna in there, then that is bhakti. That is the expression of bhakti. It's not separate from bhakti. I am the sacrifice. Krishna is the sacrifice, right? He is, Krishna said, those who worship the demigods, those who perform, they are worshiping me only, but they're doing so in a wrong way. Why? Because they're doing the sacrifice. It is nothing else but Krishna, but they're forgetting that Krishna is that sacrifice, and that sacrifice is done for Krishna. I am the offering to the ancestors. So even that can be an act of devotion. It's how we do it. Lord Chaitanya also went to Gaya, and at Gaya Dham, it's where people go and do rituals, but he went there and fell in ecstatic love for Krishna. He saw Lord Vishnu's footprint there. This is my Lord's footprint. And why the footprint is there? Because Krishna is the offering to the ancestors. I am the healing herb. A doctor can do their medicine while meditating on Krishna. These healing herbs, or rather today's context, these healing chemicals are Krishna. I am the transcendental chant. I am the transcendental chant. So this chanting is Krishna, and that's what connects us with Krishna. Isn't this such a sweet image? It's like so sweet, this such a nice image. I am the butter and the fire and the offering. Every part of the sacrifice is Krishna. It's worshiping Krishna by Krishna. Just our intention is there, that's all. But this is Krishna worshiping Krishna. I'm the father of this universe. So the energy in Brahma, obviously the soul may be different, but the potency that is in Brahma is Krishna. But even more than Brahma, he's Aham Bija Pradapita. He is the father of this entire universe. I am the mother. Actually, the Shastras say that Krishna's love is equal to millions and millions of mothers. Right? So in this world, we miss the affection of one mother. We cherish the affection of one mother. We grow up with that affection. If we don't get that affection, we become, criminals. Or sometimes people become. It's so important. And Krishna is the mother of millions and millions of mothers. Krishna is the motherhood of millions and millions of mothers. And that's how sweet Krishna is. That's how sweet Krishna's love is. That's why once you get Krishna, we don't miss anything. We miss people because we are missing Krishna. But once you have Krishna's love, we don't miss anything. Just like Prahlad Maharaj, right? He was completely in love with Krishna. He was in touch with Krishna. He wasn't missing anyone. He doesn't miss anyone. So Krishna is the not just the father of this universe, he's the mother of this universe. I am the support. We think that our insurance company is supporting us, these pillars are supporting us, our family members are supporting us, the temple is supporting us, all these are the people who support us, but it is only Krishna who is supporting us. And if Krishna removes his support, there's no support in this world that can protect us. I am the grandsire. So yes, he's the oldest, the sweetest. The the elders have such an important role in a society. They're so they have such a calming effect, such a warm effect. And Krishna is that grandsire of every living being. I am the object of knowledge. So jnanam and gyeyam, right? He is knowledge and he's also the object of knowledge. He is the goal of knowledge. We study so many things because we're actually wanting to study Krishna. We're wanting to know Krishna. And we study so many things, we get some rasa, some pleasure in it because we're studying a small spark of Krishna. We're studying just one of the energies of Krishna, right? And that's the main thing. I am the purifier. Krishna is purifying the whole world. The sun purifies everything over time. And what is that sun? It is Krishna's energy. Someone raised their hand. Is there something urgent or some question? Okay. I am the syllable Om. Krishna is the syllable Om. Why? Because it's the original sound, Om. It's the sound from which all other sounds come. I am the Rig, the Sama, and the Yajur Vedas. He is all three of these Vedas, the Rig, the Sama, and the Yajur. In the Gita, Krishna says, I think in chapter 10 that he's the Sama Veda, or chapter 7, I cannot remember. Now he says, I'm the Rig, Sama, and Yajurveda. So of the four, he's three particularly. Doesn't mention Atharva here. I am the goal. Krishna is the goal of all things, of all purposes. We have so many goals, but we have those goals because we get some pleasure by fulfilling those goals because they're energies of Krishna. But if we reach the supreme goal, that is Krishna, then all other goals don't matter. They're irrelevant. Krishna is a sustainer. Brahma, Vishnu, Shiva. Creator, maintainer, and destroyer. So Krishna is the sustainer. Sustaining is in the mode of goodness. It is the most difficult task, and Krishna is sustaining all living beings. It is He who sustains all beings. We are just instruments. We are the hands of the Lord that sustain others. But it is actually Krishna's hands. I am the master. We're all trying to be master in this world. The master of all masters is Krishna. Krishna is the master, not us. So important for us to remember. I am the witness. Yes, in this world, people bear false witness, right? It's one of the sins, cardinal sins of Christianity, to bear false witness. And Krishna is saying, I am the witness. So others can bear false witness to you, but Krishna witnesses what is right, what is wrong, who did right and who did wrong. And therefore, Krishna metes out the justice eventually. If not today, then tomorrow, because he is the true witness. He is seeing what our effort and intention is, where it lies, and he is a true witness. Bhavagrihi Janardana. Krishna is the one who knows all of our intentions. He's within the heart. Someone who's with you always, you cannot run away with. Someone who's inside you, you cannot hide anything from them, right? If someone is outside of you, you can put a shade in between you and them. You can put a curtain, but he's inside us. There's nothing we can do. He's the soul within the soul. He's a super soul within the heart. So what can we hide from him? Anything that comes through our mind has to go through the heart. Krishna is 100% cognizant of everything, and he is the witness. Upadakshanumantacha bharta bhokta maheshwara. I think the word is upadrakshanu. I am the witness of all. Krishna actually says this in the Gita. I'm the witness and the permitter. I am the abode, the ultimate abode. We are looking for house, home. This is my abode. This is my family. Oh my gosh. This is my house. But all these abodes are broken very soon, destroyed. But Krishna's abode is never destroyed. Someone's home is there and they're very, very happy. Others' homes right now are being bombed and they're being lost. And overnight, before they had such a beautiful house, home, everything normal, everything is gone. But Krishna's abode and their place in Krishna's abode is always there. That is the only permanent abode. So Krishna is the final destination or the final abode. I am the refuge. He is a refuge of all beings. We take false refuges, we take false shelters, but Krishna is the ultimate refuge. We have a problem, we should pray to him because he will give us real refuge. Only him. He is the one actually protecting every person. It's not anyone else. Krishna protects us. I am the most dear friend. And then all these things, okay, Krishna has this function, that function, that function. But ultimately, it's of the heart. Krishna says how deep these statements are. We think, oh, Krishna saying this, this, and this. It's like lists that we generally skim through in the Gita. But here, Krishna is saying, I'm the most dear friend. I'm dearest to everyone. So close. He's all these things. Furthermore, he's our friend. He wants to help us. And we have turned the other way. I am the creation and the annihilation. Breathes out, breathes in. creates everything, annihilates everything. I am the basis of everything. He is the true foundation, not these false foundations that we have. I am the resting place. We feel so much happiness when we can rest. We can rest only in Krishna's palm. That's the only place to really rest. In Krishna's lap, that is the place of rest. Everywhere else we will be running, and Maya is chasing us. I am the eternal seed. Krishna is the eternal seed of everyone and everything. Aham bija pradapita. Krishna says, I am the bija. I give heat, warmth, heat, light. They all come from Krishna. I withhold and send forth the rain. Wow. One place has no water, another place is flooding. Why? Krishna's plan. I'm immortality, and I am also death personified. Krishna's immortality, and I'm also death personified. Life and death are both given by Krishna. So someone said, why Krishna allowed so many people to die on the battlefield of Kurukshetra? Well, everyone is dying by Krishna's plan. It's not just, 600 million people died. Krishna, everyone. Krishna, it comes as death to those who don't surrender to him. And to those who surrender unto him, he is immortality. In chapter 9, Krishna lists 35 ways. We just went through 35 ways. He can be found in the world. Write the 35th in a list. Each day look for one or two in your life. Meditate on how Krishna can be realized in that. The 35 ways he gave us, we can remember him. So how about we try to work on one or two every single day? Maybe we think about, here in Chicago, it rains a lot. The Krishna's the rain. Krishna's heat, when it becomes warm, thank God it got warm here in Chicago, right? And so Krishna is that sunlight. Two things. When we see plants and trees, we can remember Krishna's eternal seed, and he's the resting place also. So each day we can remember Krishna's most wonderful ways in manifesting in this world. And this one we can remember every day. Suhridam Sarvabhutanam, I am the most dear friend. That Krishna is the dearest friend of all living beings and is a refuge of all living beings. So, yes, that's a very nice meditation. And we can remember him in these ways. We should remember him because that's the goal, to always think of Krishna and never forget him. Never to think that he is the seed, but rather to think that he is the seed of all seeds. He is the essence of the seed, and he is the person, right? So thinking of him not in a way to lose him, but in these ways always being reminded of him, and in this way being absorbed in meditation on him. That is the goal. Text 20 to 24 talk about this indirect worship. Indirect worship, however, brings temporary results that end in repeated birth and death, whereas direct worshippers, even if they are not completely perfect, achieve complete perfection by Krishna's grace. Therefore, it is unwise to worship Krishna indirectly. Without directly recognizing Krishna's supreme position, one is sure to fall down. So even Newton said this, Isaac Newton, he said that he believed that laws in this world believe that there's a lawmaker. And that's why Newton did his science, because he wanted to show through his science that because there's laws in this world, there must be a lawmaker. However, um, um, he was very clear in pointing out that God is not the laws themselves. Because once he started arguing this, people said, well, maybe the laws themselves are God. Maybe that's the supreme reality. And he said, no, God is the controller of the world, not the world itself. He who fails to understand Krishna, the cause of all causes, becomes baffled about achieving the ultimate goal of life and is thus subjected to the routine of being promoted to the higher planets and then again coming down, as if situated on a Ferris wheel, which sometimes goes up and sometimes comes down. Prabhupada writes so amazingly, right? So wonderfully. It's like we think we make such a great achievement when we get a higher position, when we get promoted. What to speak of all of this being promoted to the higher planetary systems? You can become Indra. And I remember myself, like when I got my position, my professor position, it was like, wow, like what a blessing. You got this job and now you're employed. Thank God. And Prabhupada here just, deflates the whole thing. But says this is a Ferris wheel. And the people on top are feeling very excited that they're on top. And being on top just means pretty soon they're going down and then they're coming up. And pretty soon they're going down and they're coming up, coming up. Oh, I'm up, I'm up. Pretty soon they're coming down. And this is the story of everyone in this entire world. Our, leadership, our presidents, so much the case. All of a sudden, 10 years ago, I was nothing. I was no one. Now, all of a sudden, I'm the king of the whole world. I'm the master of all that sea, and my one word makes, thousands of bombs go off. It's just this Ferris wheel. And then that same person, after 5 years, will be hiding somewhere. And we see so many leaders that have risen and fallen like this and overnight because they're on the Ferris wheel of material life, because they fail to understand Krishna, who is the cause of all causes. They forget the ultimate cause. And we think that this specific cause or this specific achievement is the cause of whatever we are enjoying or suffering, forgetting that Krishna is the ultimate cause, the only refuge, the ultimate support of all living beings. So here we can compare this verse with a verse in the second chapter, which is almost the same. Yogakshemam vahamyaham. I carry what they lack and I preserve what they have. Right? Ananyas chintayanto mam ye jana paripasate tesham nityavyuktanam yogakshemam vahamyaham. And then in chapter 2, he says, Nir yogakshema atmavan. 245, Nir Yogakshema Atmavan. Be free from all anxieties for gain and safety and be established in the self. Yogakshema. Be free from all anxieties for gain and safety. Be established in the self. Same thing. Why be free from all anxieties? Because Krishna carries what we lack and preserves what we have. It's not us, it's Krishna. In chapter 2, we learn that we need not concern ourselves with getting something, yoga, or protecting what we have, kshema, but rather to hold varn, the self, atma. In other words, we focus on our spiritual life without anxiety, forgetting and protecting. Of course, as part of our spiritual life, we work in service. That may include earning a livelihood. So in chapter 9, we learn who will take care of our getting and protecting, Krishna himself. So Krishna is taking care of us like a parent takes care of the child, right? With care and with love. And how are the demigods taking care of us as opposed to this? Because of Krishna's protection, we don't have to be in anxiety for getting and protecting anything. But in the case of the demigods, everyone is to offer his worship to the Supreme Lord only. That will automatically satisfy the different officers and directors of the Lord. Demigods are taking care of us like a businessman. takes care of their customers. It's a business relationship, of give and take. When that's there, it's there. If not, it's over. The officers and directors are engaged as representatives of the government, and to offer some bribe to the officers and directors is illegal. Right? So Prabhupada, so nice, he says, he takes an example and makes it into a literal thing that, so that's what the relationship is, right? It's a business relationship. You offer some puja to the demigod, you do some austerities, they have to give you the benediction. As opposed to Krishna's relationship, which is based on love, this is a business relationship. Now, why is Prabhupada here saying if you bribe an officer and director, it is illegal? It's a business relationship, but what is he comparing this bribing to, and why is he saying that it's illegal? How does that connect with demigods?
Hare Krishna, Prabhuji. Maybe we go to demigods for some fruitive results.
Yes. So we do that. We go
Yes.
for them, and that's exactly what it is. It's a business relationship. We give them some puja, they give us the
Yes.
result. So
They give
that's
us,
business.
they actually give us the results, even though it may be harmful to us, because we don't know what we seek, right? We don't
Okay.
know for a particular, suppose, I feel that, I have to go to India right now, but
Yes.
maybe I need not pray Krishna, but he will stop me from going to India because it's not safe right now.
Yes.
But the demigods will actually take me to India.
Yes. Yes. Actually, my in-laws, they just went to India, and just yesterday, and they were saying that the whole plane was empty, like you're saying, because it's unsafe. Not many people are going. They had to go. They didn't have a choice. They had to get back to India,
Mm.
and they went on a kind of on a safe route. But they're saying the whole plane was empty. Exactly what you're saying. So
Yes.
yeah.
As they said, in this in this verse, right? Ananyas Chintayanto Ma.
Mm.
So he knows, he'll take away whatever he doesn't need, and he gives only whatever we need.
Mm-hmm.
He preserves whatever we need. That's it.
Okay. Yes. Very good. Very good. Okay. So that's there. Someone else want to say about the bride part and the illegal part. So you can have that relationship. Even a businessman will sell you drugs. Like they have these CBD stores now all over the place. Medical marijuana people, and they will sell it, and it's perfectly legal. It's not good for us, but it's legal. Stores sell meat. It's not good for us, but it's legal. But why he is saying here bribe and illegal part? How is this metaphor being used? Someone else want to chime in? He's saying this because this is the business relationship, right? Between the soul and the demigods, between the jivas and the demigods. It is a business relationship. However, he's saying, no, this is actually a bribing relationship. You're bribing them to give you these powers and these things. And just like in this world, it is illegal. Yes, you can bribe or pay the demigods, but actually, it is not what Krishna wants. It is illegal. And therefore, there is a negative result to it. In the long run, there's a negative result. So when we worship the demigods, then eventually the effects of it are not good for us. Either they're not good because we mess up something, and then the demigod itself destroys us. So often it happens. Many of these people who worship, and the pandits particularly who worship these goddesses and all these specific things, they make some mistake in the worship. If you do it right, they get pleased very easily. Demigods get pleased very easily. But you make one mistake, you get a heavy reaction for it. And then, unlike Krishna, they don't protect their devotees. Sometimes they do for some time if they're a very dedicated devotee, but their power is limited. They cannot protect them, they get destroyed. So you get destroyed that way if you make a mistake. And even if you don't and you get a very good result, what you get, Lavanya Mataji, like she was saying, what you get will not be good for you, and that result will destroy you. Just like Ravana, he worshipped Brahma, he got his benedictions. Hiranyakashipu worshipped Brahma, he got his benedictions. But it is those benedictions themselves that destroyed them. And that's why the demigods and their worship, the worship of demigods, is illegal. Right? It's not Krishna's way. Avidipurvakam, Krishna says in the Gita, they do so in the wrong way. They're worshiping me, but in the wrong way. They are bribing. They're not trying to please. They're not trying to do the right thing, but simply by some worship, bribing them and then trying to get their way. Better than demigod worship. If, however, anyone has any material desire to be fulfilled, he had better pray for it to the Supreme Lord, although that is not pure devotion, and he will thus achieve the desired result. If, however, anyone has any material desire to be fulfilled, pray to Krishna for it. Sometimes we feel guilty. I'm going to Krishna asking for this thing. Just 2 days ago, I was doing it. In my mind, there's something like I want this to be through and get successful. This effort that I was in, desire was that it becomes successful. So I immediately what am I thinking, while offering obeisances to Krishna? What am I, asking? This is like Maya. So it happens, this is not good. We should only ask Krishna for love for Krishna. But Prabhupada, you're saying at least ask Krishna for it. Because if that thing that I'm asking for is not good for me, it's going to slow down my bhakti. Like Dhruva Maharaj, he asked for the kingdom. Later on, he regretted it. But still, in the long run, it's going to bring me closer to Krishna. It's going to be good for me. The way Krishna gives it, it's going to be good for me. And if it doesn't give it, it's going to be good for me. So better to pray to Krishna, even if we want something material, and we'll achieve that result plus more. Why we go to a demigod? So people go to a demigod for something material, and they think, well, if I have material things, I should ask a demigod. If I want spirituality, if I want moksha, then you go to God. But Prabhupada here is making a very strong argument point. He's saying, well, even for material things, why not go to the controller of everything? Ask Krishna for it. Don't feel shy. Don't feel that you have to go to a demigod for that. Krishna is waiting there. He will fulfill our material desires as well. And then we have a protection plan along with it, right? That's why everyone shops at Costco. Everyone goes, all the Indians go to Costco. Why? Because just for this one reason, they figured out, customer psychology, and they became billionaires because of this, is because whatever we buy, we want the illusion that it is under warranty. It will be returned if I don't want it or if it breaks. There's a protection plan. So that protection plan, Krishna, we will get. If we worship Krishna, we'll get that protection plan along with it. If we ask Krishna for those things, we'll get a protection plan. So Krishna is the Costco of material benedictions. He gives it to you, but in such a way that you don't have to worry. Krishna will protect you then. In summary, indirect worship does not yield the same result as direct worship. Only the direct worshipper can achieve Krishna's eternal association. Others achieve lesser, temporary destinations. So ultimately, if we worship indirectly, we will reach Krishna not fully, indirectly. But if we worship Krishna directly, we will get his personal association. This is what Vishwanath Chakravarti Thakur says, that when we worship Krishna, first of all, we get a lot of difficulties, a lot of distress. But if we keep going, then we get a shower of pure bhakti rasa. We get the abundance of pure devotion, bhakti rasa. And if we keep going, then Krishna says he gives himself, his very self. He gives his very self to the devotee. He doesn't give pure bhakti, he gives himself to that pure devotee. So if we want Krishna as Shama Sundara, we should worship Krishna. And then we get him. And if he is there, then what else do we want? Everything is in Krishna. Everything we have in this world. There's nothing to achieve. There's no destination, no person, no place, no possession that we will not have if we have Krishna. We go where we worship. Those who worship the demigods will take birth among the demigods. Those who worship the ancestors go to the ancestors. Those who worship ghosts and spirits will take birth among such beings, and those who worship me will live with me. So nice, huh? So whatever we worship, to that place we go. So all we have to do is worship the right thing. And it's true, when we worship the demigods, we go to the demigods. Finally, in the last section, Krishna talks about the superiority of bhakti. Bhakti is the simplest path, yet it yields the most super excellent result. It is so simple, one needs only offer a flower or some fruit. Patram pushpam phalam toyam yo me bhaktya prayachati. Krishna here is talking about love, and this is what love is. Love is offering Krishna everything, and if we only have a flower or fruit or some water, even if we offer that, it can be the perfect offering of love. One can even offer the fruit of whatever he is already doing. So the fruit can be metaphorical also. Offer me the fruit. That is the fruit of what you do. Offer it to Krishna. It will become devotional service. The result he gains is liberation and realization of Krishna. If one offers me with love and devotion, a leaf, a flower, a fruit, or water, I will accept it. Purport. This is the translation of Patram Pushpam Phalam Toyam. The process is so easy that even a leaf or little water or fruit can be offered to the Supreme Lord in genuine love, and the Lord will be pleased to accept it. So, the flower here is the flower of our heart. We can offer our heart to Krishna. It's also the flowers that we offer. Flowers, right? The flower here is the Bhakti Lata, the creeper of devotion. The leaf here is the Tulsi leaf. Particularly the Tulsi. This is why Tulsi is so important. If we offer Tulsi to Krishna, he becomes so pleased. Advaitacharya, he offered Tulsi and water to Shaligram. And just by doing that, Lord Chaitanya had to appear. It's so powerful. So, leaf and water. And the fruit we said is the fruit of our hard labor. Offer that to Krishna, or offer him just some fruits. And that, if done with genuine love, will please Krishna and he will accept it. Whatever you do, whatever you eat, whatever you offer, give away, and whatever austerities you perform, do that, O son of Kunti, as an offering to me. Yat karoshi, yad ashnashi, yad juhosi dadasyat, yat tapasyasi kauntya, tat kurushva madarpanam. Whatever austerities you do, do it for Krishna. Don't do it for yourself, your family. Do it for Krishna. The austerities you do for your family, do it for Krishna. The austerities you do for your work, for your business, do it for Krishna. Whatever charity you give it for Krishna. Whatever we eat or whatever we do, whatever we'd want to do, do it, but do it for Krishna. And if you're doing it for Krishna, then you can't do certain things, because certain things Krishna won't accept. If you're eating for Krishna, you can't eat certain things, because certain things Krishna won't accept if you're offering it to Krishna. But whatever Krishna will accept, if you do it for him, that is the perfection of life. And in the Bible, in Corinthians 10:31, it says, so whether you eat or drink, or whatever you do it all for the glory of God. And it's a practical thing. It's very true. And this is what the Gita is saying. Do it for my glory, right? So if someone likes to be a musician, do your music to glorify God. Do it for the glory of God. Become the best musician who's doing kirtan. If you like to dance, do it for Krishna. If you like to do artwork, do it for Krishna. If you like to do decoration, flower arrangements, do it for Krishna. If you like to make money, do it for Krishna. For Krishna's glory. I mean, we need such wealthy people. We could build so many temples in so many places, such a dire need. So we can earn money for the glory of God. That can be devotional service, very focused, deep devotional service. The demigod worshippers work so hard and get only birth and death as a reward. The bhakta offers a little flower and gets everything. Is this fair? Krishna is fair and equal to all. He reciprocates perfectly with everyone. He fully protects and maintains his devotees because they fully depend on him exclusively. So nice, huh? So devotees are so smart, so fortunate. He reciprocates perfectly. We come directly to him. Krishna gives us more than what we can imagine. We worship the demigods with so much hard labor, we get exactly what we ask for. Hiranyakashipu got exactly what he asked for, actually less. He asked for immortality, he didn't get immortality. He was cheated. We go to Krishna, we ask for immortality, we get immortality. And how do we get it? By offering him a little flower, by offering him some fruit, offering him some leaves. Not going to the forest and doing great tapasya or doing so many rituals and fire sacrifices and so much, all of this wealth and money expenditure. None of that. Just by offering our heart to Krishna. Even if the devotee is imperfect, Krishna counts him as a saint. Oh, very important verses here. Oh, wow. Even if the devotee is imperfect, Krishna counts him as a saint and quickly purifies him. Even the disadvantaged or unqualified devotee will achieve Krishna by his mercy. What to speak of the qualified? Krishna is so merciful. This is why Uddhava says, Aho bakiyam stanakala kutam. He says, where will one find a more merciful person than Krishna, who makes a demoness, Putana, into his mother? She comes as a demoness with poison around her breast. And Krishna says, you're offering me your breast milk, so you are my mother, and gives her the role of his mother. So even the imperfect, disadvantaged, impure, ill-motivated devotee achieves Krishna by Krishna's mercy because they're approaching him directly. And Putana was a devotee of Krishna in her past life. Actually, she was a very nice devotee. She made some mistake and she became Putana. That story is very long. But the point is that that devotee, though they became so demoniac, was uplifted by Krishna because they're devotee. What to speak of the devotees who come favorably, anukulyena Krishnanu, favorably, what to speak of those? So Krishna is so kind that he gives it to the disadvantaged devotee his mercy. And that's why it's very careful not to criticize an imperfect devotee. Because devotees have imperfections, we all have imperfections, But Krishna is counting an imperfect devotee as a saint. Sadhur eva. Sadhur eva. He uses this word in this verse. They are a sadhu. He says that apichit suduracharo bhajate mam ananya bhav. Durachar. They have bad achar. They have bad character. Apije suduracharo bhajate mam ananya bhak. But those who are engaged in my worship consistently, carefully, sadhureva, they're still sadhus. Why? Because it's only a matter of 5 minutes they'll get purified of it. They'll get purified. And that's why, even if they truly have imperfections, if we criticize them, it becomes a great mark, a great mistake upon us. And we say, well, but it's true, they're so bad. And if we don't say anything, they'll become more bad. And if it's a fact that they're so nasty and mean, how can you punish me? But no, because they're a sadhu, because they're engaged in devotional service, carefully, consistently. If they make a mistake, they're still a sadhu. This doesn't mean that we don't stop that behavior, but we don't criticize them. We hate the sin, not the sinner, as Jesus said, right? Because if we start to criticize them, we will become entangled. We will become liable for offenses. They're unqualified, but they will achieve Krishna's mercy on their account of wanting to be a devotee. On account of them being devotees, we know they will get purified by the process, because the process is a little powerful, and those imperfections will go away. So Krishna doesn't count those imperfections, nor can we. When a living entity is conditioned, he has two kinds of activities. One is conditional and the other is constitutional. As for protecting the body or abiding by the rules of society and state, certainly there are different activities, even for the devotees, in connection with the conditional life. And such activities are called conditional. Besides these, a living entity who is fully Krishna conscious of his spiritual nature and is engaged in Krishna consciousness, or the devotional service of the Lord, has activities which are called transcendental. Such activities are performed in his constitutional position, and they are technically called devotional service. This is our constitutional position, to serve Krishna. This is our only position. Sometimes devotional service and the conditional service in relation to the body will parallel one another. But then again, sometimes these activities become opposed to one another. As far as possible, a devotee is very cautious so that he does not do anything that could disrupt his wholesome condition. So if we can engage everything in Krishna service, right? Yat karoshi yadashnashi. But if our activities in mature life are opposing our spiritual development, then we have to be careful. Let's say we're in a business, but in that business we're implicated in, it's easy for us to get implicated in sinful activities, for us to fall prey to breaking the four regulative principles. Then though we may be trying to do it for Krishna, it's not running in parallel with our spiritual life. It's stopping our spiritual advancement. We must give it up. Right? Whatever is Rupa Goswami says, whatever is favorable for devotional service, accept it. Whatever is unfavorable, reject it. And then he says, pay whatever price you need to pay for love for Krishna. Whatever the price may be, pay that price. Because devotional service is very rarely achieved. So that is the most important thing, not to disrupt our wholesome condition, our devotional life. And this is what happens, especially in household life, all the time. We get in a schedule and then we get too involved in something. We're trying to achieve something, and then everything, the whole thing gets messed up. So our wholesome condition does not stay steady. Very hard to do, easier said than done. The word sadhur eva, he is saintly, are very emphatic. They are a warning to the non-devotees that because of an accidental fall down, a devotee should not be derided. He should still be considered saintly, even if he has accidentally fallen down. So a key word here is accidental. If a devotee intentionally does evil things, a devotee can be avoided and chastised. And the word mantavya is still more emphatic. If one does not follow this rule and derides a devotee for his accidental fall down, then one is disobeying the order of the Supreme Lord. The only qualification of a devotee is to be unflinching and exclusively engaged in devotional service. Right? So if a devotee is practicing and accidentally they break one of the regulative principles, if we criticize them for that, if we deride them for that, that's a big mistake. So that's accidental fall down. Another, maybe that if a devotee says, no, actually, I don't follow the regulated principles because it's too difficult. That's okay. We're all on the path. We have difficulty doing it. But in addition to that, for your information, it's actually not important to follow the regulated principles. And actually, I think, Prabhupada wasn't really on the dot when he was saying that this is part of bhakti. That is intentionally trying to change the process. That's not an accidental fall down, but that's intentional, that I know more than the acharyas. I know more than Srila Prabhupada. I know more than the parampara. And that's not considered exactly an accidental fall down, but a deviation. So that we have to be more careful of. But if we criticize someone who accidentally falls down, and in general, if we deride a devotee, then Krishna is not pleased. In Bhagavad Gita 9:30, the person who criticizes the fallen devotee disobeys the Lord, whereas the fallen devotee is to be considered saintly. Just see, when we criticize someone, we think that we are saintly and they are bad. But Krishna is saying when they fall, they make a mistake, they fall down, they are still saintly. But the person who criticizes them is fallen. Wow, so deep, huh? In the purport to Bhagavad Gita 9:31, Srila Prabhupada says that ritual atonement is not necessary for rectifying fall down. Only constant thinking of Krishna is required. So people say, oh, I did this, let me go and do this puja, that. No, just thinking of Krishna constantly, which means constantly chanting Krishna's holy names. Bhagavad Gita 9:30 is not an excuse to engage in sinful activity as a devotee. So accidental, right? Because we may now apply this to ourselves. Well, I'm a devotee. I made, every 2 days I smoke a cigarette and I'm still sadhu. This is what Krishna is saying. No, it's not an excuse for regular sinful activity. And so therefore, because Krishna protects his devotee, the sincere devotee who even accidentally falls down, who is imperfect, he tells Krishna, he tells Arjuna, you declared boldly that my devotee never perishes. Kshipram bhavati dharmatma, shashvat shanti negachyati, kaunteya pratijanihi, name bhakta pranashyati. O Arjuna, you declared boldly that my devotee never perishes. On these verses, we could spend an entire session just on each one of these verses. It's very hard actually getting through these verses, but there's so much to be said. Here, Krishna tells Arjuna to declare it boldly. Why? Because Krishna breaks his promises for his devotees, but he never lets his devotee's promise go on empty. So if Arjuna says it, who's his devotee, then it's written in stone. So this is written in stone. Arjuna said it, that Krishna's devotee never perishes. That's why if we become Krishna's devotee, fear no more. We're under his protection. That devotee, that person will never perish, never ever perish. Srila Prabhupada's mission to welcome everyone, O son of Pritha, those who take shelter in me, though they be of lower birth. Women, Vaishyas, merchants, and Shudras can attain the supreme destination. Again, it's a big topic, right? Why is Krishna saying here women are of lower birth? We really don't have the time to go into this one. Next time, maybe we can finish the last few slides here. This is okay. We're almost to the end. We can discuss them more. We'll finish them today, but we can discuss them a bit more next time. But that time, in that society, in that culture, it was considered that men were of a higher birth. It was a more fortunate birth. But in Kali Yuga, it's said in the scriptures that actually the women are more fortunate. Why? They have a higher birth because women in general come to the temple and come to spiritual things in greater number. There's a greater mass of women coming than the men. What does that mean? The women are more fortunate in this day and age. So when Krishna was speaking the Gita, that was a cultural norm. So therefore he was saying, even if you are considered to be of lower birth, his point here is you're not of lower birth because everyone can attain the supreme destination. In Kali Yuga, there's His Holiness Radhanath Maharaj actually gave a reference for it. I don't know where it is, but in one Upanishad it said that it's actually one Purana or Upanishad. It's reversed because in Kali Yuga, the men, they're not interested in spiritual life. The women are more interested. If you go to Russia, my Guru Maharaj used to say something like 80 or 90% of all the devotees are women. All the temples are run by women. Everything. They're interested more in spiritual life. There's many male devotees also, but relatively speaking, there's far more women. You go to temples in India, they're packed filled with women. Few men sitting on the side or maybe in the middle, but the majority of them are all women. So in this day and age, there's no difference, no higher, lower birth. In fact, the scriptures say that women may even be more fortunate of higher birth in this day and age. Srila Prabhupada's mood and mission, it is clearly declared here by the Supreme Lord that in devotional service, there is no distinction between the lower and higher classes of people. In the material conception of life, there are such divisions, but for a person engaged in the transcendental devotional service to the Lord, there are not. So another key point, Prabhupada said that women who become devotees, they're not lower than men. This is for materialistic men and women. Then, okay, maybe, depending on context, and if the man is completely fallen, you can't get more fallen than that, right? So very often we find in a household where the woman is pious and the man is, the woman is a vegetarian, she doesn't drink, doesn't smoke, the man eats meat and drinks and smokes. So in what way is he higher, right? So it depends on the situation. But in general, Krishna, referring to that cultural context, materialistic women, maybe they're lower in birth than materialistic men. But in the spiritual level, for sure, Prabhupada is saying there's no distinction. In the process of doing that, in devotional service, here this is Prabhupada's word. Outside, maybe, but in devotional service, there's no distinction between the lower and higher classes of people. Because anyone engaged in the transcendental devotional service is now on the transcendental level. Nor one should remain in this temporary world, full as it is with miseries. Everyone should attach himself to the bosom of the Supreme Personality of Godhead so that he can be eternally happy. Wow. Prabhupada's words, how wonderful they are. They should attach themselves to the bosom of the Supreme Personality of Godhead. How intimate and personal Krishna is, and he is with Krishna. So don't stay in this temporary world full of miseries. There's a place, there's a person where we can be eternally happy. Therefore, worship Krishna directly by always thinking of him and serving him. Thus you will achieve the most confidential result of the most confidential knowledge. Krishna's personal association. This is the chapter title is the most confidential knowledge. So by worshiping Krishna, serving, thinking of him, we get the most confidential knowledge, which is the most confidential result of devotional service. And that is the Krishna's personal association. We can actually be with Krishna. And Manmana Bhagavat was so important, it's repeated twice. 2 times in the Gita, almost the same except for the last 2 lines. 1.5 lines. Everything's the same. Engage your mind always in me, becoming my devotee, thinking of me, offer obeisances to me and worship me, being completely absorbed in me. Surely you will come to me. And in the other verse, he says the same thing. Think of me, manmana, manmana. Both start manmana. Become my devotee, worship me, offer your homage unto me. Thus you will come to me without fail, because you are very dear to me. I promise you this. So he's promising. He's saying you'll be very dear to him. And twice he says that you will come to me. Come to me, come to me. So this is the process. Krishna's given the secret here, the most confidential knowledge. This is the secret, most secret of all secrets. So these are all the different sections. We talked about hearing about Krishna and the results, the powerful results of hearing Krishna. Aishwarya Jnana, Krishna's relationship to the world, how fools neglect bhakti. Such a wonderful, great opportunity. Only a fool neglects that opportunity. Then we talked about finding Krishna in the world, the paltry or results of worshiping demigods or the ill effects, and finally the glories of devotional service to Krishna. And this whole chapter, the theme is how we can always remember Krishna, manmana, by seeing him in this world, by performing devotional service, by being attached to him in love. Okay, Srila Prabhupada ki jai. So it took a long time to finish this chapter because it was so important. I'm just going to respond to these two, this one message. Thank you, everyone, very much. By Sucharu Radhi Rani Mataji regarding the exam. So I graded most of the exams. I'm sorry, a few of them got left. So Mataji, I will grade your exam this week for sure. And Rashmi Mataji is helping me with that. Thank you, Rashmi Mataji, so much for that. And if anyone else's exam is missing, please message me. I will work on that. But without any question, they will be done. Yeah, Rashmi Mataji is here. So thank you. And you can message her and me, and then we will get it done. And please keep reading and doing the homework, and we will be in touch. I'm going to end here. I will take questions next time because there's so many questions on this topic.
Yeah. Thank you, Prabhuji. Hare Krishna. Dandavat Pranam.
Thank you.
Hare Krishna.
Thank you, Prabhuji. Hare
Thank
Krishna.
you.
Hare Krishna.
Thank you,
Krishna
Prabhuji. Hare
Prabhu,
Krishna.
Dandavat Pranam.
Vaivacha patitanam pavanebhyo Vaishnavebhyo namo namah. Granth Raj Srimad Bhagavad Gita ki